You ready to get to work? Hey everybody, welcome back to Dad Bear DIY. Just a quick update. Been trying to get some work done on the Cherokee, and what I've been dealing with, besides what we're working on with the Cherokee, is I've been having a whole lot of camera and microphone issues. So I'm gonna film. Probably not going to be much, if any, commentary, just because, again, the microphone stuff is a problem. So we're going to continue working on the Cherokee today, and I'm going to film, and then hopefully in editing I can add enough audio as far as describing what's going on to be helpful. But I apologize. It's been frustrating. It's held things up, and I've really been trying to get stuff out for you guys. So just wanted to let you know what was going on. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in a little bit. So what was supposed to be doing some maintenance before a Jeep Club trip to an off-road park turned into some troubleshooting right off the bat when I got an ABS light on my dash. And after checking relays, checking brake fluid levels, and getting ready to move to just checking the ABS sensors and the tone rings on the axles, I discovered I had a brake fluid leak on the right rear wheel cylinder. So I decided I was going to go ahead and change out the wheel cylinders while I was back there, because part of my maintenance plan was to go ahead and service the differentials, pull the axles out, check the seals, check the bearings, and that was how it started. But this had to happen, and right here is where I found out I had the wrong wheel cylinder. So after I got that, the correct wheel cylinders purchased, I went ahead and finished it here on the rear right. The reason I think this could have been the cause for the ABS light was because the fluid caused so much caking of brake dust, dirt, whatever it is, that the sensor and the tone ring were pretty fouled up. So that's why I decided to put a priority on this, because I thought that might be causing the problem for our ABS light. So I finished this side up, and then we moved over to the left side, and that's where I'll show you the part number for the wheel cylinder we ended up getting. They're interchangeable on both the driver and the passenger side. Next, I got started on what was one of the original planned evolutions, and that was servicing the front and rear differential. Now, I had not opened these in the time that I've owned this Jeep, and considering the condition I found some things on the Jeep when I got it, I really wasn't sure what I was going to find. So I didn't know what to expect from the gear oil. I didn't know what to expect from the seals on the axles. I did not know what to expect from the bearings. So this was actually a little more challenging for me than I thought it was going to be, just because of the tight spaces. But we did finally get it cracked open, and everything actually looked really good. This was also where I was definitively able to identify, yes, I have a limited slip differential. All the gears, the carrier, everything actually looked really, really good. And that gear oil that came out of there was a nice gold honey brown. So it had been taken care of. Well, after giving it a thorough spray down with some brake cleaner, we went to to the task of trying to clean off the surface of the differential case. And I'll tell you what, for all the shortcomings I've found in some of the maintenance that the guys at the motor pool at Alexander City did, they certainly did not skimp on the gasket material. My goodness, man. I don't know what it was they used, but they were not frugal with it, and they used copious amounts of it. It was definitely a challenge to get as much of that off of there as possible. So, but we did finally, and thank goodness, man. The front axle wasn't nearly as bad, but at this point, going ahead and pulling out the center pins so that we can remove the C-clips and we can pull the axles out to take a look at those. So, evidently, I did not record me pulling the axles. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you, when I pulled the axles out, the axles looked great, no issues there, and the seals and the bearings looked phenomenal. So we're going to jump to putting everything back together. Alright, so we're going to be using Valvoline Full Synthetic Advanced Gear Oil 75W90, and since we have a limited slip, we are using a gear oil that has limited slip additive in it, and we're using these convenient pouches. We'll see how convenient they actually are. But we're gonna fill this until we just start to see a drip over the side. Hey everybody, welcome back. We're continuing to work on the Jeep Cherokee. I'm going to go ahead and show you what we've got, and then tell you about some decisions I made in the process. So here we go. Alright, so we've got drums have been painted. They've been put back on. Wheel spacers are back on. And adjusted the parking brake. And we're getting a really good feel on the handle now. We've got the lid back on, the rear diff. I really wish I had the time to just pull the axle out, clean it up, and paint the whole thing, but that just wasn't going to be in the cards with the way our schedule got pushed. So right now we're just going to go with that. In the future, we'll see. I was going to change the U-joints on the drive shaft. I got underneath, took a really good look at everything, and those U-joints are just, they're fine. There's no indication that they're worn, that anything's wrong. So I'm not going to change those. I'm not going to change those, and we'll just keep the ones that we bought for repairs. So that's what we're going to do there. So I'm holding off on doing that. I misplaced cargo tie downs. I'm gonna find it because I moved a whole bunch of stuff around the shop. I misplaced those, so I just filled those holes there. This is what we were going to be putting in. I'll find them eventually and I'll put them in, but for right now I've just covered those holes up. I did pull the seat up and double check the ABS control unit under the back seat, and didn't see any sign of anything being wrong there. So I'm really hoping once we get done with the front axle, get everything buttoned back up and put in there, I'm really hoping that we'll see that ABS light go off. We'll see. So I cleaned up the wheels. I'm going to paint those, but right now it's just too windy to do so. So they're out there, and then once I'm able to get those painted, I'll get them back on, rotated as they're supposed to be, and go from there. Let's see. We've got a leak. Looks like motor oil, but I haven't actually gotten down there and touched it to see if that's transmission fluid or not. This is all since the last time I started it. This pan it wasn't like clean, but it did not have any of this fluid in it when I put it underneath there, and everything on this pan has come after, almost all of it after the last time I started this, which was a week or so ago. So a fluid leak after it turns off, not really sure. We're still going to be changing the oil on this, so it might not be anything. I'm going to get in there, check the color of this, see if this is actual transmission fluid or not. I think we may have a transmission fluid leak coming from one of the solenoids on the side, on the passenger side, or at the dipstick tube. But right now I can't get under to do it. So what we're going to be doing now, since I'm not working on painting the wheels, we're going to be working on the front axles. So I'm going to take those spacers off. We're going to pull off the rotors, calipers. I may try to paint the calipers while they're off. I don't have caliper paint though, so they just may end up getting high performance enamel. We'll see how that works and go from there. So we're going to be cracking that Dana 30 open, draining it out. We're going to be taking those off, and then we're going to be pulling axles and checking seals, checking bearings, and then we're going to be installing CVs. You can see back there. So, and we'll keep the U-joint axles as emergency spares. All right, so I'm going to get the camera set up and we'll go from there. Next, we started working on the Dana 30 up front, and I will say this probably would have been a little bit easier if I didn't have the skid plate on, but again, kind of working with the time that I have available, I just decided not to remove the skid plate, so it kind of made reaching things a little bit more difficult, but we got through it. So like the rear end, we're going to be changing the fluid. We're going to be pulling the axles, checking the condition of the axles. Our bearings should be good. We replaced those as relatively new. Have not had any indication that there's a problem with that. And we're going to be replacing the factory front axles with CVs that we got from O'Reilly's. So again, the gear oil here looked really good. The motor pool, where they had the vehicle before I bought it, obviously serviced the differentials, put a ridiculous amount of gasket material on there,
So, but the oil looked, or the gear oil looked really good. Again, good color. It didn't smell nearly as bad as I expected, and got that all replaced. And we cleaned up this cover also, and put it back on. So I'll see you in a bit. Here we started installing the new CV joints. This is something I decided to do after having seen the recommendation and some of the information put out by Dexter Browder about the pros and cons of using these. This installation actually went pretty well, but I did experience what Dexter kind of warns about when you go to put those in. You might find a little bit of binding. It's not so much binding as it is the clip that holds on the CV boot. You might need to wiggle and put a little force just to get it past the knuckle opening. So, but that was really the only difficulty that came with that. So otherwise, a very easy install. Alright, after letting the front diff drain and getting it cleaned up and everything, we got to work getting the gasket material off. Again, tight quarters just because the skid plate kind of limits where you can get your arms. But same evolution that we went through with the rear end. Just going to get as much gasket material off as you can, cleaning things out, and then getting the new lube locker gasket and the cover, which had been painted, reinstalled. All right, before I went into doing just the basic maintenance of the oil change, checking the fluids, and doing all that kind of stuff, I wanted to get another project done that I've actually had the parts for a while. Those of you that watched the painting video saw that I did not remove the factory corner bumper covers. I had to trim those after we did the JCR DIY rear bumper and tire carrier, and I had those on there because I hadn't decided which rear quarter panel lower armor I was going to use. But a few months ago, I had gone ahead and ordered the Roughcountry Cherokee XJ rear lower quarter panel armor panels. I did choose the ones that are designed for fenders that have already been trimmed. The process was, I'm going to say it was a little bit intimidating because I've heard so many people having issues with those zip nut. It's not zip nuts, it's crunch. Golly, I can't remember the name of it now. Anyway, the crush sleeves that you put in that you can screw the bolts into for these armor panels. I've seen a lot of people have issues with those. So I was concerned about that, but went ahead and got with it. Cleaned up, took off the old bumper covers, went in, cleaned up the dirt and what little bit of surface rust there was underneath there. And again, because we used the Rust-Oleum paint, we were able to use a rattle can to go in there afterward, prime it, and hit it with that, and it looked fantastic. Now, our trimming job on the fenders was probably as minimal a trim as you can do. It wasn't what normally, we didn't do the cut and fold. So these panels, even though they're designed for trim fenders, they really only came out to that, and they left the exposed edge of the fender, you can see behind my arms there, exposed, but that was okay. I still had the black 3M tape trim remnants left over, and I was just able to measure that, cut it to match the edge cut, and run it down the side. So we were able to continue that trim along the fender opening edge, and it actually, I think it looks really good. So I did not have any issues with the crush sleeve bolt holes that most people have mentioned. I did, on the passenger side, have a little bit of an issue with it actually, I'm going to say, crushing too much and kind of deforming the hole for the bolt a little bit, but not so much that it created any significant issue. If nothing else, it perhaps gave a little bit more space between the panel and the body itself to allow water, dirt, air to flow out. And I like that idea. I like the idea that there's just enough gap between the armor panel and the body of the Jeep itself that if you get dirt up in there, or if you get water up in there, it's gonna have the ability to drain out. And again, if you got mud up in there, you can run water through it, rinse it out, and then it will be able to dry and reduce the chance of rust. This one all went very well. Very pleased with the way it looks. The button head bolts that you use to mount this are the same color. They're the black anodized color bolts. The washers that came with the kit our stainless steel washers. Now I decided not to paint those, but I'm kind of curious what you guys think about it when you see the panel fully installed, and see what it looks like with, you know, the black panel, and then you've got the black bolts, but you've got this stainless steel ring around them from the washers. I want to know what your thoughts are on that. What do you think about that? I'm actually not bothered by it that much because, again, our Jeep is aluminum colored. It kind of goes with it. But let me know what your thoughts are. I'd be interested to hear what you think.
All right, everybody, welcome back. Got the rear quarter armor panels put on, and I've gone ahead and done the trim. Show you what we did there. I just butted up against this existing piece, just extended it down. Said right now I'm just leaving the stainless washers. I mean, it doesn't really bother me. Like I said, if you guys think we should do it another way or take the washers out, I mean, they're in the kit for a reason, so. We do have that, and that honestly does not bother me. I've got a minimal trim on my fender, so I didn't take all the way out this far when I trim my fender. I don't really care that that shows, but I think it looks good. Turned out pretty good. Passenger side was definitely more challenging. More because the nutserts were deforming and weren't giving me as nice a flat surface to work with, but that was it. So here's the rear quarter panel lower armor from Rough Country.
All right, guys, that's going to do it for today's video. I'm sorry it took so long to get this done, but I just wanted to get something out to you because we haven't put something out in so long. Thanks again for being patient with me, all the projects we got going on. There's still more to come. I'm not going to bother showing you the oil change. It's an oil change, but we'll continue going, and I'll have some new stuff for you here soon. Thanks again. Take care of yourselves, everybody. Take care of others, and always, always be safe. Remember, close your visor, don't forget your dampeners, don't forget that sunscreen, and I'll see you on the other side. But until then, I should go.